Mr. Shoop. Oh, Mr. Shoop. Congratulations. You've been chosen to teach summer school.
Ah, shoot. If only I'd known sooner. We're going to Hawaii.
May I remind you, Mr. Shoop, you're up for tenure. You want a job next year?
Oh, come on, Mr. Gills. Look, we got liaison and everything.
You'll be teaching Remedial English.
Remedial English? Look, I ain't no English teacher. See? Double negative. No, I hand out basketballs, check for jock straps. I'm, like, very challenged. No, I'm not a real teacher.
That's all right. These aren't real students. They're unmotivated, irresponsible, not too bright. They'll relate to you.
I appreciate that. No, look, the only reason I got into this whole teaching gig in the first place is to get my summers off. No, I'm afraid my answer has to be no. No, thank you?
Bottom line, Mr. Shoop, you need my recommendation for tenure.
This is blackmail.
We call it school spirit.
Hello.
Hi.
We're back.
We're back.
Everybody out there. Boys and girls, my name is Pete.
And everyone in between. I always say that whenever you say boys and girls, you should always say everyone in between.
This is true.
It's only fair.
It's not just ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody in between.
You know, you're all welcome.
You're all welcome on
All
this podcast.
are welcome.
All are welcome on this podcast. Well,
Who are you?
Well, I'm Scott.
Nice to meet you, Scott. These
Are the movies
that made us
gay.
Yay!
Woo! Oh, man.
Well, Scott, how are you today?
I am great.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Did you enjoy the movie?
I loved it. We just finished Summer School from 1987, directed by Carl Reiner. And I also just found out, as we were watching it, Rob Reiner's brother. His father. Yeah.
Meathead's father.
Meathead's father.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
He's a prolific film director in his own right.
I know. I didn't know.
Showing your age right there.
I guess so. Well, we watched it with the friend of the pod, Jacob
Carillo.
Hell yes. Hello.
I kind of had the
Deep friend of the pod.
I had to pause your last name for a minute.
It's okay.
Carillo.
It is. I get this the first day of school.
Oh.
Mr. Carillo?
Yes.
Mr. Carillo.
How do you pronounce your name? So yeah, I am a teacher, and the correct way is Carillo.
Carillo.
But I say Carillo. I get called Mr. C eventually. So
nice.
Well,
much like Mr. Cunningham on
we're
Happy Days.
gonna keep it casual and just call you Jacob on this.
That's totally okay.
But yeah. So I feel like we just have mutual friends. And you were a fan of the pod, and
yes.
I asked you to come on.
Yes, I literally met the both of you 2 hours ago.
Sure.
Yeah, face to face.
Before we watched the movie.
Yes, we became mutual friends because my very good friend and roommate, a former roommate, is friends with you, Scott, and eventually over...
Shout out to Mitch.
Mitch Ralston.
He's probably not listening.
He better be listening. I'm gonna kick that ass. Like Facebook, Instagram, and then both of you doing this podcast, and I listened to this podcast so much I could probably quote it.
I love it.
That's amazing.
That's great.
And I ended up listening to who was on the mannequin one again?
Millie DeCherico.
Shout out to her because I listened to all of her.
Love you.
Was it Back to Bayside? Way back? What's the Bayside?
Go Bayside.
Go Bayside.
Bayside.
Yeah.
Did you listen to Sordid Details?
Did I?
Her Sordid Details podcast with April Richardson's really great.
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
no, I haven't. Because honestly, why I go back to listening to your guys' Death Becomes Her and Mannequin over and over again.
Good. Keep listening.
So we were thinking about. I was thinking originally about A League of Their Own, and then we somehow landed on Summer School. I don't remember how.
Oh, so you've been asking me which movies that I want. We're throwing stuff out there, and then you proposed, do you want to do Summer School or League of Their Own? Both movies that made me very gay by chance, because I love women's softball. That made me gay for sure. Shout out to my dad for catching me. But also, this movie definitely made me gay because of the male stripper scene.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I thought, because I am now a high school English teacher, that my insight to summer school would be much more useful.
Definitely. Yeah. I feel like this movie I watched a lot as a child.
See, no,
Me
I
too.
did not watch this a lot.
Really?
At all.
Why
I did not watch this until I met Pete.
Yeah.
Did you have cable?
I did have cable, and I'd somehow missed this movie.
It was not a lot.
Okay, so this movie was like one of those movies that would be on like, you know, your local Fox station on Saturday afternoon, and
Yeah.
then it was always on like USA, TNT, TBS, like
Yeah.
constantly. But when you watched it, you never watched it from beginning to end. You always came in on some scene.
Sure.
And that's kind of how I remember watching this movie until On Demand existed, and
Yeah.
then you could actually watch a movie from beginning to end.
Yep. I watched it a lot. I think that this movie had an influence on my style choices as an adult.
I can see that.
Wearing a lot of short shorts.
You're wearing
and
short shorts today.
and snazzy T-shirts with like heavy metal bands, or you know, like a horror movie motif.
So you wanted to be Mr. Shoop.
I wanted to be Mr. Shoop, but also Chainsaw and Dave.
And also, everything
I
that
feel
Mr.
like-
Shoop's wearing, you could pretty much go into Cotton On and buy right now.
Yeah, Mr. Shoop is
His whole wardrobe.
very on trend for 2019. Chainsaw and Dave are as well. I felt like those two characters, as they were like, I don't think that they're cool in the universe of the movie. I think people at Oceanfront High School kind of think that Chainsaw and Dave are weirdos.
Oh, of course.
But to me, I was like, those are the cool guys. Like
Yeah.
as a kid, I was like, those are the two cool weirdos. And I just was like, yeah, that's fully the kind of dumbass, like, nonsense bullshit that I'm going to be into, and fully just kind of modeled my life after the two of them. I very much still to this day wear, camouflage cargo pants and
leopard berets.
I like that. I like that
wish.
Gary Riley, the actor that plays Dave, in his IMDb profile
It's his
picture,
picture from summer
he's
school.
wearing the leopard beret.
Well, it's a picture from summer school.
It's a picture from summer
Yeah.
school. Because what else would you use if you were? This was your only
He didn't do a
main
lot.
acting credit.
He didn't do a lot. Chainsaw went on to do quite a bit.
Yes.
And I think still works.
Yes, honestly, looking at the picture of him in summer school versus him as an adult, you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I recognize you now.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, this movie, it doesn't have a lot of gay shit in it other than, the stripper scene, which is amazing.
Yes, but Mark Harmon
Oh my God.
is a beautiful looking man.
He's
Oh,
like your
man.
dad's cute friend that always comes
wish.
over, and you just think that he's just.
I wish.
Well,
You just want to get with your dad's friend. Did you get that?
have I gotten with my dad's friend? I don't
Well.
think I've gotten with my dad's friend. No, I haven't. But Mark Harmon was, I believe, People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive in 1986.
Yes, indeed he was.
He's on the cover because I wasn't the first one, Mel Gibson, that created the whole
That sounds
Sexiest
right,
Man
yeah. So it would have been
Alive.
So
probably 85.
what would have been the big thing that would have gotten him Sexiest Man Alive in '86?
He was on St. Elsewhere. He was
Oh,
a doctor
sure.
on St.
Yeah, that's
Elsewhere,
right.
and he got AIDS.
Yes, his character got AIDS. And also, Mark Harmon at the time, and around that time, was very well known for the television movie The Deliberate Stranger, in which he played Ted Bundy.
I could see him playing
Wait a
Ted
minute.
Bundy.
Who played Ted Bundy now?
Zac
Zac
Efron.
Efron.
I would
Zac
rather.
Efron was-
I
Zac
would
Efron was-
rather fuck Zac Efron.
He was the best part of that terrible movie too.
He was. I mean, it would be a toss up between Zac Efron and Mark Harmon. It was 1986. It was
Can
a
I have both of
television
them at
movie.
once?
Yay.
But which Mark Harmon? Do you want 1986 Mark Harmon or
Def-
CSI Mark Harmon?
I'll take either.
Yeah, I'll take 86. That is some Ted Bundy realness.
Yeah,
oh
that is-
wow!
Pete just brought up a picture of Mark Harmon as
that
Ted Bundy.
turtleneck.
Yeah,
And
the
yeah,
hair, the
I
curly
can
hair.
see it.
Yeah,
He probably looks more like Ted Bundy than Zac Efron did.
yeah.
Yeah.
It works. I'm in it. And I think Mark Harmon was a pretty big star in the mid '80s, and not known for comedies.
And that's so weird because I think he plays comedy in this movie really well. I think he's
Yeah.
pretty funny in it.
He's very charming. You look at
Super
him,
charming.
and
Yeah.
and the thing is, like, even with the students, they like him.
Yeah,
They do
Yeah.
like him.
and Kirstie Alley likes him.
Kirstie Alley really likes him.
I think
movies that made us gay all-star, Kirstie Alley.
Well,
We just did her in Drop Dead Gorgeous.
yeah,
She's back.
but depending on the order of release, maybe you haven't heard of Drop Dead Gorgeous yet.
It's going to be coming after.
or it may have already been out. So who knows? it's all a crapshoot right now. But yeah, Kirstie Alley is definitely in this. She is looking very beautiful in this
And
movie.
thin.
Very thin, Kirstie Alley.
Probably the
yes.
best that Kirstie Alley has ever looked was in this movie.
She was gorgeous in the 80s. She really was gorgeous.
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She looks good in Cheers.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you remember the episode of Cheers where she was trying to sleep with Sam or get back at Sam in the elevator, and they stripped Ted Danson basically to his boxers,
No.
and then she left him? That's the only memory I have of Cheers.
God. I never feel like Ted Danson is sexy.
No.
No, because even in 3 Men and a Baby,
Yeah.
he's not the sexy one. Like
No.
I'd rather
I mean, Tom Selleck is the
Selleck.
sexy one in that movie.
Tom Selleck is, but I would rather do
Steve
Steve
Guttenberg.
Guttenberg. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would.
I always
I
have
bet-
time
Tom
for
Selleck.
Steve Guttenberg.
Steve Guttenberg probably has a good ass.
There is the very opening scenes of Police Academy 1. Okay.
He has those little shorts, right?
So he shows up in cutoff jean
Yeah.
shorts and a crop top midriff T-shirt that says
Very
"Bun in the
80s.
Oven."
Mhm.
Very 80s, because he's like the free spirit, he's like, he's not there to be a cop. He's just kind of the jokester guy, which again, my
He only
personality-
did Police Academy 1 through 4, I believe, right?
Yes, I don't think he
Yeah.
came back for 5
He
or 6.
stopped on Citizens on Patrol.
The best Police Academy.
The best
movie.
one.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good one. I like 3. I think 3 is when they go to the leather bar. Remember?
They go to the Blue Oyster in most of them,
Oh,
but it
do
really
they?
gets super leathery in 3.
Okay.
And then in 4, it's full on like they're at the fault line, or like the Eagle. Yeah, so I do like a mid '80s Steve Guttenberg. That's why I like High Spirits so much with
Yeah.
Daryl Hannah. But back to summer school. So I mean, I definitely watch this a lot. There's a lot of midriff cut off T-shirts.
I mean,
shorty shorts.
Moose from Heathers wears a cut off T-shirt.
Yeah, he
that's
wears it a
very
lot.
flattering
Yes.
on him.
Patrick something
Yeah.
with an L.
Something French.
Something.
I love my-
and I think
I
he's
love my
adopted.
dead gay son.
Labarteau.
because Wikipedia says, he was adopted. So
All right.
you can believe Wikipedia.
He had those icy blue eyes in this movie. He's like
Yes, a lot of people had icy blue eyes and brunette hair. That was a
Yes.
thing.
Kirstie Alley. This is like the forerunner of like the Raven Beauty with like these icy blue eyes, and yeah, his name is Kevin in this movie. He plays the jock football player that befriends the pregnant girl,
Yes,
Rhonda.
yes, played by Shawnee Smith.
Yeah, I love. Okay, so this movie's great because
I forget Shawnee Smith was in the Saw movies.
That's
that
her
was
big
her
gig.
big. That was
Yeah.
her big gig.
Yes, so
Yeah.
so this movie introduces a lot of characters with the teens, and a lot of them had careers in the 80s. But
Yeah.
I would say Shawnee Smith is probably the one that has kept it going,
yeah, for sure.
Steadily working.
steadily working.
Yeah. I definitely.
As does like Courtney Thorne Smith. I mean, she's been employed.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
she was steadily working for a while.
Yeah, well, and besides, Mark Harmon and Kirstie
Yeah.
Alley, Courtney Thorne Smith is on the cover, so,
She's on the cover of the poster, or
Yeah.
the
well,
musicals?
whatever they show now for
Oh,
this
sure.
movie.
Well, I think now because her star has risen a little
Yes.
more than anybody
Well,
else.
she got the second highest.
Yeah.
On the test.
So we should talk about all the students. Well, okay. First of all,
did
let's break it
any
down.
of you go to summer school?
Oh my God, did I go to summer school?
See, now summer school was not an option for me. We never had summer school.
What do you mean not an option?
Because he had 10 students and all grades were taught in one classroom.
In one classroom, Little House on the Prairie style. No, but I lived in a small town public school, and I feel like summer school was an option. Or am I just saying that because I never had to do it?
What
I
happens
don't
if you
know.
failed
Yeah,
a class
did
in
you not
high
fail any
school?
classes?
I don't know.
Okay, so
Then you just get held
Flunk, you
back,
got
and you
held
have
back.
to you have to retake it.
okay, so like Pete, like you, I went to Catholic school.
Yes.
So
I don't think in public school in my small town, summer school is an option.
oh wow,
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Go on.
If anyone that went to high school with me that went to summer school, write in.
They're all like,
Movies that made us gay.
everyone,
Gmail. All went to
yeah.
summer school.
It's like we didn't want you.
So I didn't have to go to summer school. Summer school was not really something the Catholic schools wanted to do.
Yeah.
They kind of if you failed something, they kind of made you go to the public schools and take it. I only did summer school in college.
Okay. Not my high school.
I mean, there's always summer semesters.
Not my high school, boy. If you failed, you were going to summer school, and they wanted you in because you paid tuition for summer school as well. So they were come
that's
back,
why.
bitches.
So what did you fail?
Everything. Frankly, algebra 2, chemistry, or was it biology? I don't know. I did algebra. I did 1 year. I did some science with Brother Dan. Sorry, Brother Dan.
Oh, you had brothers?
Yeah, we had Christian brothers.
The brothers left when my brother graduated, so I only had lay people for all of those people who went to Catholic school out there.
No, we had Christian brothers in the full ball gown.
I had a question. After prayer, did you guys say St. John Baptist de La Salle pray for
us?
Oh my God! Have you seen Lady Bird?
Yes.
That right there. If you really want to know what going to Catholic school was like, watch Lady Bird.
So, St. John Baptist de La Salle pray for us. It was just like every class.
Yep. It was.
Wow. So did you have was it a Jesuit school or was it? Who knows?
I don't know. So by the time I got there were no more brothers or nuns teaching. They all,
we had a full brothers house with the brothers living there, and with Sister Frances. We had one nun left, Sister Frances, bless her. So I would say about half of my teachers in each year.
So you had to go to summer school every year?
Not every year, but almost every year.
So I may not have gone to summer school, but I have taught summer school. I taught summer school this past year.
Was it anything like this movie?
Okay, so
how many field trips did you take?
Did you go to Knott's Berry Farm? Did you go to the beach?
So let's kind of go through how this movie starts. This movie starts in a great way in terms of plot mapping. It introduces everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the characters, all the student characters at least, they are getting their summons.
Yeah. What is that, by the way?
Is that a thing?
That is a thing. However, that does not happen the last day of school.
No, I think you kind of know.
So usually by quarter 3, they already have your semester 1 grades, so they obviously know if you have to go to summer school for semester 1. But by the end of quarter 3, which is around spring break, your counselor will start talking to you and basically say, hey, you right now have a D or an F in algebra. If you don't get it up by the end of the semester, you're going to summer school. So there is that with the kids, but it's not on the last day of school.
Yeah.
Now, with teachers, so it is a struggle to teach summer school because, it's your whole summer.
Yeah.
It's gone,
Yeah.
and now
Is it the entire summer, or is it like a month?
So I'm not sure how you so when you went to summer school, how long was it?
I don't remember. It was not the entire summer. I want to say it was maybe 6 weeks.
Yeah. So
maybe.
Yeah. So also we have to think about there is no longer 3 months of vacation anymore because we take longer vacations during the winter, and Thanksgiving's a week now, and so summer itself is shorter. Summer school now is long. Honestly, as a teacher who has taught summer school, it is too long for the kids because it's not 8 to 12. It's like 8 to 2.
Yeah.
It's a long day for the kids, and they're in one class the whole entire time, which is awful because after 3 hours, those kids are done.
Oh, yeah.
And what you can learn in 3 hours is the same as you would have learned in 6.
In 6, yeah, totally.
So there is a scramble to find teachers. There is a scramble, especially science teachers.
Yeah.
Like the principal isn't
The principal is
chasing after them in the parking lot
No.
to ask them as they're driving away in their car.
For science teachers, there probably is. There are VPs who are trying to find those chemistry and biology teachers because those are some hard subjects to teach. I couldn't teach it.
Yeah. I feel like when I was there, and this was the 90s, this was straight up the mid-90s when I was taking summer school, we had the full 3 months of summer, and I think it was maybe 6 weeks, and summer school ended at 1. and I think they only did like 3 classes, like the whole day.
That's not bad.
Yeah, but I remember one year, I forgot what class it was, there were 2 of us in the class.
Oh God,
It was crazy.
did you like that person?
No, we just it was like silent sustained reading the entire time.
Oh, that's awful.
But it was very much like, okay, I mean, I went to an all boys school, and we did not have a uniform, but we had a dress code, and the dress code was a lot more lax during summer school. And then there were girls there, not that I cared or gave a shit, but there were girls there to like get more. I feel like the girls' schools didn't have summer school, but our school did. So
the boys are dumb.
yeah, so I think there were like 3 of the Catholic schools in the city came to our school for classes.
I went to Catholic school with a uniform, so basically what you see in the craft is kind of how my
So no uniform, because in the craft
That's hot.
those uniform rules were
No tucked in
flaunted
shirt.
in the faces of those teachers. Nobody had a shirt tucked in. Nobody had the same color shirts. I have a lot of problems with that because I had a uniform for a long time, and I was like, no. Those rules were flouted in that movie. But yeah, the like polo shirt for guys, like a 3-button short sleeve shirt, or like khaki pants. Yeah, no, we just had to have, as long as we didn't have holes in our pants, and our shirt had to have buttons and a collar, and it had to be tucked in. That was it.
Scott, so did any school have uniforms in Montana?
I mean, not anywhere in my town. I mean, you would have had to have gone to the bigger cities to have gone to Catholic school.
Yeah.
And I don't even know.
Are there Catholics in Montana?
Montana's
Yeah,
like a
there's
majority of Catholics in
Really?
Montana.
Interesting.
What else did you think was in Montana?
Protestants?
Mountains, bears. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there was, but I really didn't know or didn't care.
So yeah, they introduce that everyone, including the teacher, do not want to be
Oh, yeah. no.
in summer school.
Yeah, this is the last thing that anybody involved in this.
Yes. And
So there's Chainsaw and Dave, the 2 resident fuck-ups,
But I love Chainsaw
but
Dave so much.
but passionate future movie makeup artists.
Yes.
way ahead of their time.
Way ahead of
Yeah,
their time.
for
Yep.
sure. They love horror movies. They love grossing people out. Dave has a live cat in his locker.
I have a lot of questions about that. He's had this cat in his locker. In his locker.
He just has a black cat that follows him around to class.
Could you imagine just like the amount of work that would entail keeping this cat in this locker?
I think it's a school. It's like it's on the school grounds, and they're just like, let's just name this cat and give it French fries from the lunch truck, and like it follows them around, and it's a black cat, so they like it because it's spooky. And then when they were cleaning out their locker, he was like, "Oh, give me French fries," and so they picked it up and put it on the top shelf for that scene.
But he opens up and the cat is in the locker, though. Like he lives there.
I'm trying to give some backstory and some
It's
world
like the cats
building.
that live at Disneyland. They just
Exactly.
they're at the school.
Yeah, and Chainsaw and Dave like to just feed it, like garbage from their lunch tray.
That was a cute scene, though.
Yeah.
It was a cute scene. Is very, very quick in introducing everyone.
Yes.
And gives a little bit of insight of their own, like, maybe problems later on that will be revealed.
Yes, for sure.
So we got the knocked up one, Denise.
Rhonda.
Rhonda.
Yeah.
Rhonda, played by Shawnee Smith. Denise, played by Kelly
Oh,
Jo Winter.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is the token black girl, not the token black character, but the token black girl in
Yeah.
this cast.
She's black, but not too black for an 80s movie.
Yes, I mean,
Hate to sound racist, but that's probably
No,
how
well-
it was
well,
cast in the 80s.
Well, no, I think now because of our woke generation, as you
Yeah.
want to say, we do notice that a lot of the sometimes token or stock black African American characters are usually lighter skinned.
Yeah.
And their hair is usually not natural.
It's true for any ethnicity in 80s movies.
Yes,
if
and-
they're going to have somebody in there that's going to be,
Yes, and now since there are now, a more diverse people making media, we are now seeing more diverse, truer, realistic representations of all different types of Latinos, different types of African Americans,
You can
different
definitely
types of
see it in this
Asians.
cast.
Let me just say this about Kelly Jo Minter. She made the rounds in the 80s.
She was popular, yes.
Yeah, she was popular. She was in A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child.
The Dream Child, yes.
You may remember her from House Party. You may
she was in House Party?
Yes, you may remember her from. She was in New Jack City. She was in The People Under the Stairs.
Oh, Wes
Yeah.
Craven liked her.
Yeah,
She's in
exactly.
the Lost Boys. Who is she in the Lost Boys?
I always see her name in the opening credits, and I always go, "Where the hell
It
is
must
Kelly
have been
Jo Minter
scenes
in this
cut.
movie?" No, she's in it, and it's a brief blink if you miss it thing. And I'm trying to remember. I'll figure it out as the episode goes on. I'll find her. She's in it. It's a blink and you miss it. I don't even think she has a line. So she may have been like had more
She's
scenes
in
that
the
was
opening
deleted.
credits, though.
Her name is in the opening credits.
Wow.
Yes.
It must have been scenes cut.
Yeah.
I remember. I'm of course. I believe you guys have seen "Never Sleep Again."
Yes, the documentary.
And I was really happy when I saw her and she's talking about it, and she very much sounds like her character Denise. in
yeah,
Summer
for
School.
sure. Yeah, she's. Yeah, she. Oh my God, where is she? I'm gonna find her. Okay, moving on. Who else do we have in our scene?
So we talked about Kevin the jock.
Mm-hmm.
There is the nerd character played by his name is Richard Stevens. He plays Ekian.
Oh yes, Alan Ekian.
Alan Ekian. And then we have Larry, the kid that is asleep in class constantly.
Yes. And we find out why he's asleep in class.
Yes, and then we are introduced to Pam, played by Courtney Thorne Smith.
Ah, yes.
Courtney
Pam.
Thorne Smith is like that really pretty babysitter that you had when you were a kid.
She is. She's a very
that you
pretty
just
blonde.
thought was so
Very pretty
cute,
blonde.
and you just wanted to be her. She's that beautiful blonde that little kids just want to be,
And
or at least with me.
And she's also very much a California blonde.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
definitely.
You know,
Yeah.
like she looks honestly, the blonde girls from California look like her.
So okay, but let me just break this down really quickly. Chainsaw and Dave. None of these kids are stupid.
No.
None of these kids are there because they're dumb or whatever. Like, all of these kids have a lot of potential.
Yes.
And they need somebody. They're all slipping through the cracks in one way or the other.
Yes.
Chainsaw and Dave have a fucking drinking problem.
Yeah.
They're literally drinking vodka at their summer. They have a job. They have a
Yes.
high school
They work
job.
at the
They both work
photomat.
at the photomat
Yeah.
together.
The 1 hour photo, man.
The 1 hour photomat. I love the two teen boys that are inseparable. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
love
Did you
that
always
they are
want that
just
in
friends.
high school?
I had that in high school.
did
I
you?
had a friend that we were just fucking inseparable. We were all day together at school, and then we would go home after school and just hang out all afternoon and just walk to McDonald's and do whatever. We didn't have a job that we worked the same hours at the same job. But, you know, I did have that friendship. Ray, you're not listening, but hi.
Hi, Ray.
But yeah, I love that thing where it's like they're these two idiots that just all they do is hang out with each other. They got the same job, but they got in trouble together.
Do you think they're kind of like a Romy and Michelle?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like because, you know, we do have those friends in high school who are like, I'm friends with you because I'm just in class with you and I see you 8 hours of the day. That's a big
Yeah.
reality of what school is.
Yeah, for sure.
But, you know, you do sometimes make one or two people that are actually like, no, I actually like you.
Yeah.
We will be friends.
Yeah.
The same interests outside of high school.
We can get into Chainsaw and Dave a little bit later, but I like to think that they maintain some kind of a friendship. So Kevin, the football player, let's just say he was focused too much on sports, maybe chasing girls,
And also, he was kicked off of the football team
because his grades were
because
too
his
bad.
grades were too bad.
Yeah.
too.
Yes, because their big objective for summer school is that they have to pass this remedial English test.
Yeah.
Which we no longer call remedial English.
And I was going to say you can't even call it that.
Well, it's
anymore,
like
right?
calling someone retarded. You can't say it anymore.
Remedial. Yeah. So what is it now?
Well, they really
What
don't
do they call
have.
it?
They don't
Different
have it
things,
anymore.
yeah.
So, I want to say maybe like 8 years ago, California stopped the Casey, which was the test you had to actually pass in order to graduate high school from California.
Oh, okay.
And you no longer have that. So there really is no test. We're not Europe.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm. We don't have our whatever they're called.
Well, when I was in high school, in middle school, in grade school, I was a terrible test taker.
How did you pass?
So I would have, well,
By the skin of his
I was
teeth.
like a B student, but I had to work really hard at it, too. So chances are I probably would have been in this class if it was offered. But that said, I never, like, failed any classes.
Well, the KC test,
in high school,
honestly, the old KC test, I should say, it was written for 6th graders to pass.
Sure.
So
I would not do well in stuff like the ACT, we'll just say.
the SAT, those are hard now.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I probably couldn't pass it now. But I was a good test taker in high school. I was bad at everything else. Okay, Courtney Thorne-Smith as Pam. She was the surfer girl. Her mind was elsewhere. She would skip class. I think she just didn't show up.
She was staring out the classroom window, and what did she see?
Waves.
Waves, because this high school is oceanfront.
It's called Oceanfront High
It's
School.
called Oceanfront High.
Yeah. She did not want to be there. She just wanted to be surfing.
Do high schools like this exist in California?
I don't know if they're Ocean View.
Would you have
Probably
an Ocean
not.
View high school?
I doubt it.
Well,
That's some like Saved by the Bell surfer high shit
Yeah.
right there.
Well, I'm from the Central Valley, so there are no effing oceans near me. I guess maybe to me, when I look at this movie, I think Huntington Beach.
Yeah,
Honestly,
whenever
I
you
think
see the
Huntington
beach, Mark Harmon's apartment, it looks like Huntington Beach.
Yeah,
I don't think you would get that type of property in like Marina Del Rey or Venice.
You know, and there is no way a teacher can afford
Oh,
an ocean
even in the
property.
80s when it was different. Yeah.
I mean, maybe he's renting it.
Still, and there's no way a teacher can rent
It's a
oceanfront
small
property.
shack on the ocean.
Yeah. We meet Larry, who is always asleep.
Yes.
And that's why he failed, because he just sleeps through everything. But Kelly Jo Minter's character, Denise, she's a bad test taker. And we find out later that she has a learning disability.
That's the reason why.
But she's diagnosed a little too quickly by maybe somebody who's not quite qualified to diagnose her, but maybe they're on the right path. So
I always forget Kirstie Alley in this movie. Like, there'll be like 20 minutes that pass, and then you'll see
She's
her,
not on
and you'll
screen.
be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Kirstie Alley's in this movie. I forgot.
Yeah.
So they all now are at the first day of summer school, and teaching next door to Mr. Shoop is Kirstie Alley.
Yep.
She is teaching honors history, so she gets all the good students.
Voluntary students.
Yeah.
Bunch of nerds.
Yeah. She plays Miss Bishop. I like that in IMDb her character has a middle name.
Oh, what is it?
It's Robin Elizabeth Bishop. I don't even know that was stated in the movie. Why is it on IMDb?
Maybe Kirstie said, "Hey, I think my character needs a middle name."
Yeah, she was very adamant about
It's
like,
Kirstie, like
it's
thirsty.
Are you sure not hungry?
it's Kirstie, not thirsty. Or Kirstie like thirsty. That's
She said that when she won her Globe for Cheers when she was in the press room.
Did she ever win an Emmy for Cheers?
I think she may have.
She may have.
Yeah.
I feel like Cheers did dominate the Emmys for quite a while.
Yeah, it was like one of those shows.
Yeah. We'll get the interns to figure that out. We'll get them in here in a minute. But yeah, Mr. Shoop gets wrangled into teaching this class. He's a gym teacher, and I do remember being a child, and at the beginning of this movie, it's the countdown to the last day. Well, it's the last day of school, and it's the countdown to the last bell so that everybody can leave. And Shoop is got his kids because he's a gym teacher, and so he just has this group of boys in the gym on the bleachers, and it's the last day of school, last class of the day, so he's not going to have them like doing laps or whatever. So he's just like, what did we learn? Oh, we're also getting introduced to his style of teaching, which is
Nothing.
and I'm going to let you, the students, determine your own grade.
I think UC Santa Cruz does that.
Sure.
That is a thing now in some colleges where you determine, you
Yeah.
self-reflect, self-evaluate
Fuck
yourself.
that. But one of the big things was he tells the guys, what did we learn this year? And he was like, I don't know, like teamwork, whatever, self-reliance. And the last thing he said is, how your friends look naked. And as a kid, I was always like, what? Is that a thing in high school?
Okay, so I did not shower after PE. No one showered after PE. I don't think I took a public shower until I was in college.
Oh, I've said this before. We had to shower after gym.
They threw you guys
in high
in there.
school. They threw our asses in there. They're like, you will shower or you will get detention. It was like a thing. Yeah, and it was traumatizing, but hey, whatever. We're all boys.
I think I would probably shower by example when the other kids were doing it. I was like, oh, okay. I guess I'll do it too.
Yeah, no,
Safety
we
in
all
numbers,
we all
Safety
did.
in numbers,
Yeah.
yep.
No, we had to. It wasn't like just the weirdos are doing it or just these guys. No, it was like everybody.
Did you
took a
notice
clothing
that
shower.
Mark Harmon said jockstrap inspector in that opening clip?
Yeah.
Does he say jockstrap
No,
inspector?
I check for jock straps.
I check for jocks. Even better. I check for jock straps.
You know what? I until a couple of years ago, I realized I was wearing my cup wrong.
What were you? What sport were you
was-
partaking in that you were wearing a cup?
Again,
Gymnastics.
yes, gymnastics.
Baseball?
Close. I played softball. I played fast pitch softball. Again, that's why I'm saying League of Their Own, summer school,
sure.
hard.
Yeah.
I was wearing the cup too high.
Upside down.
No, too high. You were literally supposed to put it like between, like on your gooch.
I mean, it makes sense. That's sort of where the balls are.
Yeah, because the idea is that if you're gonna get hit, it comes from like below,
Yeah.
not straight on.
Okay.
You heard here, people.
So this is
I don't
why
think I
he.
ever wore a cup.
This is why the
He's checking
'80s
for jock straps.
jockstrap and inspector.
touching those balls.
I don't think he's touching the balls. He's just making sure you're wearing it. He just wants to know that if you're playing sports on my watch, that you're protected. That's all
that.
Shoop's doing.
Yes.
It's important. Somebody's got to do it.
Yes. He. But we do get introduced to one more character.
A lot of vagina.
Who are we missing?
Yes, basically a lot of vagina. I didn't even write the actress's
A lot of
real
vagina
name.
from Austin Powers. Her real name is
Fabiana
Fabiana
Udenio.
Udenio.
Now, I did look her up. She was either Italian but born in Brazil or Brazilian born in Italy or something like that. She's foreign.
Yeah.
She plays the exchange student Ana Maria.
Mm-hmm. Who's only there to assist with her English skills.
Yes.
She does not have to take the English test at the end of this of the
She's from
summer
Argentina.
program.
Argent-
She was
South American.
she was-
Los
Interesting.
Descamisados.
she was born in Buenos Aires and she moved to Italy.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's how we get the Italian.
Yes. And this was one of her first big gigs, and she just plays the busty Italian exchange student who Chainsaw and Dave are pining after the entire summer.
I do like that she likes Chainsaw and Dave. She thinks that they're cute. Like she's amused by them.
Yeah,
Those Americans.
yeah. She goes along with all their antics just
Mhm.
because. Yeah, she thinks they're cute.
And kind of going into that 80s cliche of a movie about teenagers, you have to have the Tolkien exchange student. 16 Candles.
Did you guys ever see Not Another Teen Movie?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
And the foreign exchange student walks around naked.
Yes. Okay. So one thing about that movie, if you watch in the special features, the actual gimmick of her is not just her breasts coming out, but she's supposed to change accents like every couple of like lines. And
I was probably too busy pausing the scene where you see Chris Evans' ass.
You mean
in that movie.
America's ass?
America's ass.
America's
Do you think
ass.
you got an ass double for that movie?
I hope not.
I hope it's Chris Evans'
I don't
ass.
know. Yeah, I think it's his booty.
And like, well, actually, the question more is this: like that banana. Remember, it's like,
Yeah.
is it actually in his ass? Or is it,
I don't know about that one.
Yeah,
we
so,
can
like-
only hope.
Yeah. So she very again cliche. She is the hot foreign exchange student.
Yeah. And she does a good job of it. I mean, she's very sexy in this movie. Chainsaw and Dave are in love with her. And not each other, I guess. I mean, who knows? Chainsaw and Dave are they're heavy drinkers. Maybe sometimes they're just hanging out at each other's houses and they just get drunk and one
They're
thing
using
leads
that
to another.
plastic mechanical hand. For
That
other
mechanical
things.
hand that's like
Yeah.
rubbing Chainsaw's neck oh so tenderly to wake him up. You mentioned as we were watching this that there's definitely an alpha of the two of them.
Oh,
I mean, I feel like Chainsaw is the alpha of the two, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
and by the end you realize it with that little exchange they have about the grades.
Yeah, when Dave actually passes.
Yeah, he's like, I can fail, I promise.
So it sort of starts out with Mr. Shoop just taking them on field trips. That's how he kind of wins their affection, is he takes them to, like, Knott's Berry Farm, a petting zoo.
And a racetrack, right?
And a racetrack.
Yeah, go-karts.
To ride go-karts.
Yes, and so, so he starts out with all of these kids in class, but they all start ditching, and then a couple of them get brought back by the security officer.
Yeah.
From Winchell's Donuts.
Yeah.
And that's when you get the core, like, these are the kids we're going to focus on, and they decide we're going to go have fun. And so they bring out the permission slips, and they all sign for their parents.
That's a great
funny scene.
Because these are all the kids that would forge signatures.
I was always really bad at forging signatures as like a middle school and high schooler. I was really bad at forging my mom's signature, so I usually never did.
Yeah,
it.
I never did either. Did you?
I'm going to pass on that one.
You know what? Okay, so because I went to Catholic school and a lot of those kids were doctors, I had a friend. Her dad was a doctor. Her dad's secretary just said, "Here, take his, like, signature stamp." So she would literally stamp his signature.
Lucky
on
her.
things.
Yeah.
I know.
She scored.
Fuck that. We were all not that
Yes.
lucky.
Yeah. So they go to Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah, they do. They're on
What?
the corkscrew, which is not there
corkscrew.
anymore.
Well, it's called the Screwdriver movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is, the first successful looping roller coaster like the corkscrew. It still exists, actually. It still exists, I believe, in Silverwood theme park, and it's called the corkscrew. It's painted black now. I have to, do some research, yeah.
The ride that's there in its place at Knott's Berry Farm now is fucking scary.
That
What
is
is
a
it?
scary ride.
We
did it last time we were
It's
there.
some
I
crazy
forget what it's
roller
called.
coaster, but it does this drop that's
It sends you like
straight down.
90 degrees straight down.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's not that one where it's like does that
Shoots
top
you
hat?
out. Yeah, it's not that one.
It's not that one.
No,
okay.
but it's scary as fuck. I'll look it up. But as we were on it, I was like, this is the place that like Screwdriver from summer school is. I always think about that when I'm there.
Yeah, the corkscrew left, I think, in 1989 from Knott's Berry Farm.
You can also see the parachute drop ride in the distance. R.I.P. That was a great ride.
Now wait, you went to school here in Southern California.
Yes, indeed.
Did you take field trips to the Knott's Berry Farm, like, where
Like
they
the Old West Town?
Yes, because I had a friend who was from here. He said, "Oh, that's what we did. They would take us to Knott's Berry Farm."
No, I think maybe some schools in Orange County would have. We never did. We did Disneyland, but it was not a field trip. It was like a prize for selling boxes of candy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had grad night at Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
But we never went to Knott's with school.
When Disneyland still had like actual Disney, like California Adventure, because I used to work at Disneyland, there was a youth learning education program where you could go to California Adventure and they would teach you.
You would learn about
sure.
California.
Exactly. Yeah.
By soaring over it?
Yeah, and with Whoopi.
Oh, I remember that.
I loved that.
What did you do at Disneyland?
I sold tickets. I sold. I was a vacation planner. I sold tickets there. I honestly enjoyed it.
You made like $7 an hour.
9. It was 9 when I got there. But it was when it was free on your birthday. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, that was crazy.
That was fun.
Oh,
But
that
it had
was
to be your
crazy.
actual birthday.
It did. It had to be your actual birthday, and it did not matter how old you were. You had to bring legal documentation.
Yeah.
You couldn't bring a driver's license. You had to bring a birth certificate.
No, it could be a driver's license.
Okay.
It had to be like it had to state
But if you
your
were a
birthday.
child, you couldn't
Sure.
just get a free ticket.
Yeah.
If
Obviously,
you were like, it's his birthday.
You would have to
Yeah.
bring a birth certificate.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed my time at Disneyland. I really did. I made some good friends there.
I never worked there, but I always enjoy my time there. We'll be going shortly sometime this year.
Yeah, so they go on all of these field trips, and when they're at the petting zoo, we get introduced to really what Dave and Chainsaw are good at.
Yes, their special effects makeup skills, which come into play later on in the movie. But we're also introduced to one of the great love stories of this movie of Pam and Mr. Shoop.
Oh my god!
Wow.
The goat starts eating Mr. Shoop's Rolling Stones First Farewell Tour T-shirt from 1969, and she starts grabbing him. She grabs the torn
She
T-shirt.
cuts it into a crop top.
Does she
right?
do that? Well, she says she'll sew it.
She fixes it.
Yeah,
Oh.
she says, I can sew this for you. But she starts grabbing it on his body like he's wearing this
Yeah.
shirt. And she starts grabbing the
That's
pieces, and
weird.
it's like, ugh.
That's weird. Really,
Pam.
This whole
Pam.
subplot,
It
I
gets
mean,
weirder.
I get that it was supposed to be weird, but looking back 30 plus years later, it's really weird.
Yes, definitely. As a child watching this, I didn't really understand the subtext, what was going on with that relationship.
Yeah.
Now, as a teacher of California, that relationship is wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Very wrong.
I mean, Mr. Shoop he's not like receptive to it, but he's not doing enough
No.
to tell her this is not going
Yeah.
where you
Yeah,
think
he's
it's going.
trying to be nice.
Yeah, he's trying to be nice, and he's trying to
Yes.
spare her feelings,
Yes.
which is the wrong thing to do because she's a child and he's like a 37-year-old man.
I think what they were trying to do with the script and the story was that they were kindred spirits
Yes,
because they
yes.
were surfers.
He relates to her.
Yes.
And so he sees a lot of himself in her, and so he's not trying to. Yeah, I don't know. He's just trying to let her off easy, I guess, but it's inappropriate.
It's very inappropriate.
Very inappropriate. So he ends up getting busted of doing all these field trips, and they strike a deal with the students and
Mr. Shoop.
Mr. Shoop that he has to do something for them.
And
for
they'll go
them-
to class.
For them pretty much to come to class.
Yeah.
Which,
Yes.
is that how education works, Jacob?
It is exactly how it works. So no. So what happens is that he gets busted, and then the VP, basically blackmails him
Yeah.
and says that if you want to get tenured, you need to have your students pass that remedial test. So,
I feel everything that I know about tenure comes from movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
So tenure is when like your job is permanent. They can't just fire you because for any reason. Because when you first start teaching, your first 2 years, they could fire you for any reason and not tell you. But when your first day of your third year, you are now tenured, so you're protected, and by the union and all that stuff. But it's not something the VP can like blackmail you for.
Or decide whether or not you get it.
Yeah.
So you're telling me what I learned in movies about real life is not correct? I'm out. Well, so they strike this deal. They start getting their wishes fulfilled. By
Everybody
Mr. Shoop.
everybody has their shortcoming.
Yes,
that
everybody
Mr.
has-
Shoop has to help them overcome.
Yes. So we have Larry. He just wants a bed, and that's all we know so far.
He wants a bed in class.
in class. Yes.
So Mr. Shoop gets him a cot.
yes, and then Kevin the jock really needs a workout partner.
Yeah.
He needs a workout partner,
Some training.
and not in a gay way.
Yeah.
Denise says she needs driver's training.
Yes.
lessons.
Which she really needs reading lessons, but she wants to learn to drive.
Rhonda, the pregnant girl, wants a Lamaze coach.
Yeah. Lamaze.
Very
It's-
80s.
It's a cliche. I don't know anybody that actually took Lamaze or used it. It's breathing techniques to have a
because-
natural birth. Nobody wants that.
That's because everyone now wants what's the
They want an epidural.
no? What's the one that like the at home
A doula. They
A
wanna-
doula.
yeah.
A doula.
Fuck that.
That today, if that was made, she'd be like, "I
Put
want
me
you
in
to
a
be my
hospital.
doula." And then Pam says, "I will let Mr. Shoop know when the time is right."
Yeah.
She also ends up moving in with him.
Yeah, that's
You're
what she wants to
revealing
let
too
him
much.
know.
We'll just go into it now.
Spoilers.
She ends up moving in with him.
She does. Okay, so but this is where it's kind of layered because she moves in with him. However, it's because she lives with her brother, who
Yeah.
has like 5,000 kids.
Yeah.
And there's another one on the way, and she feels like she's getting displaced. So that's what I remember as
Yeah.
a kid. Standing out the most, not the like, did you ever sleep with your students on the beach? what she eventually says.
Yeah, she asks him, Chainsaw and Dave want to have a party at Shoop's house because he's got a beachfront
They have a 4th of July
condo.
party.
So they have a 4th of July party. And she sneaks into Shoop's room alone with him and starts posing all these questions about, like, would you ever like bang one of your students? And it's just like,
No, but she uses a pickup line. The Grunions.
the
Remember
Grunion.
the
Oh,
Grunions?
God. Yeah.
And she points out that his Shoop's girlfriend, who we are introduced in the very, very beginning of the movie, and then she disappears, she's young.
Yeah.
You like young girls.
She's 22 or something.
She's 21.
21.
And then and then Pam has passed math because
Yes.
she points out that she's 16.
Yep.
And that when what's her name is 66, she'll only be 61. Very good, man. Very good.
Oh my God, that whole exchange. Which, by the way, Mark Harmon, what has he got to be 36, 37 in this movie? Dating a 21-year-old? Come on, Shoop. That's a little young.
Hey, if you were 21
That's a little
and
young.
you met Mark Harmon,
Oh, I mean,
who had
fuck,
a
yeah.
beachfront house,
I do it, but I'm just saying he's as a teacher. I don't know about this example that he's setting, dating a 21-year-old.
he is a like this. Like watching that now, I got very like shaky. Like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, my whole career, everything in my life is over.
Yeah, for sure. It's inappropriate on a lot of levels.
Yes, and that was Pam's wish, was to move in, and eventually, what happens is
He takes her in.
he does, and she cooks. What does she cook for him?
Manicotti.
Manicotti.
She makes manicotti.
And a beautiful salad.
Yep.
Only for 2, though.
Oh yeah, no, she did not make enough for 3, because Miss Bishop shows up and like all hell breaks loose. Pam gets so pissed.
So we have to talk about Larry. The
Yes.
side story with Larry.
Yes.
Oh,
So
yeah,
Larry
we haven't
has
talked about Larry
Larry has been
The reason
sleeping
why he needs a
at
cot in
school,
class.
and he needs a cot because Larry has a job as a stripper
Yeah.
at a ladies' night strip club.
Is it Chippendales?
It is not Chippendales.
You know,
I don't think so.
Chippendales was around in the 80s.
It was around in the 80s, but I don't think that it was branded as Chippendales.
So we should probably talk about 80s fascinations with male strippers because you saw it a lot.
Dirty pillows. Everyone will.
We'll just say his dirty pillows are those buns.
Yeah, those buns are definitely some
Yeah.
good,
So
goodness.
80s fascination with strippers.
It is. I've read like a blog about this, but I really would love to go back, get my master's, and write about this.
You could do a whole podcast on
Yeah, I
that, on
could
just
do a
80s
podcast.
stripper movies.
It's not just 80s stripper movies. TV shows were obsessed with 80s strippers as well.
okay.
Mr. Belvedere had mentioned.
Don't they go
Facts
there?
of Life.
I was
going to
say they go to
mention,
a
Family
Male-
Matters.
Male strippers? I don't.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
Was it just the novelty of men taking off their clothes?
I think it
that
was
Yeah.
because
pop culture was
Chippendales started,
fascinated
I
with?
believe, like in 79, 80.
Yeah, I had to.
And then what? Your favorite movie, Bachelor Party,
Party, love it.
has a
Great male stripper scene in Bachelor Party.
Mr. Mom
Yeah.
has one
Yep.
as well.
Yes, indeed.
The great movie with Jamie Lee Curtis and John Travolta,
Perfect. Yeah.
has one.
I think a lot of them too use the idea of having a straight man, at the male strip club.
Yes.
and
Preying
play
off
that
all
for
of the
comedy.
women, which Mark Harmon does in
Yeah.
this movie.
Well, okay, well, see, like that's what you said, that he is there to pick up chicks. I don't think that's what the story's intention.
Then what
Do you-
the hell is he
Do you
doing
think
there?
that he's there to find him?
I think, I
No.
think we are to assume that
Maybe it was a
Mr.
cutscene.
Shoop already knows what Larry is doing.
No, he's really shocked when he sees his face.
I think maybe it's like acting.
No. He's there with that line of being a writer for Playgirl to pick up chicks. It's got to be that. It's got to be that.
And I always think about those types of women who like go.
Yep.
To
Yeah.
So like the way we're introduced with the scene is with I don't know her name. That smoky voice
Oh, yes.
woman shaking her boobs.
She's a regular.
yeah.
Don't get in her way between
no.
her like looking at these guys taking their clothes
Yeah,
off.
because it's ladies' night.
It's ladies'
It's
night.
ladies'
Get out
night.
of here.
And she bring it to mama.
Yeah.
And so like he's stripping, all that stuff, and then wants to get his tips. He comes over, and does she French him?
She kisses him on the mouth for sure. Yeah. It's crazy.
Everyone knows that it's proper stripper etiquette if the stripper just has to do it to you.
And this is the thing too. This is not Magic Mike strippers. This is not I'm a white guy, doing breakdance moves. Like this is like
He's more just kind of twirling around.
It's more
like
of
a theater of the round.
It's like a bachelor party. It's that Chippendales thing where
It's like it's theater of the round style.
Gimmicky.
Maybe he has a chair.
Yes, very
What's his theme?
He was a cowboy. He was wearing chaps.
Okay, he's wearing chaps.
And he has like a mask. It's like a Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
He's doing like a Lone Ranger gig.
Yeah, very big mask.
Now, you've seen A Night in Heaven, right?
Night in Heaven with what's her name?
Christopher Atkins
Leslie
and
Ann Warren.
Warren.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she plays a community college English teacher, and she is straight up sleeping with her student. Now, the end of that movie, Chris Atkins, the husband, I believe, doesn't he take Chris Atkins onto the boat and threatens to kill him with the gun and everything?
And he works for NASA or something, right?
Yeah, all I cared was that you could kind of see his penis.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you can see it.
You can always see. Chris Atkins liked to share his penis.
Yeah.
Now
he
what?
does.
Oh, we will be doing Blue Lagoon sometime on this podcast soon. What was that stripper made-for-TV movie about the murderers?
Lady Killer, starring Mary Lou Henner in 1988.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually ordered on Amazon the VHS of that.
Love it.
You can stream it on YouTube. That was a great movie. I remember watching that movie when it aired on ABC.
That needs to be remade.
It should be remade. Well, you know what? It probably could be remade with Mary Lou Henner. She probably remembers all her lines. So.
Yeah, because she remembers every day of her life.
But yeah, this high school 17-year-old just has a side job as a stripper.
Yeah, and then we talked about at 17, did you have that body
Oh
to
my
be
God.
a male stripper?
Yeah, no. No.
I
way
mean,
in
I
hell.
think probably at the time, looking at the upperclassmen, maybe, but it was one of those things that if I were to look at high schoolers now, I would be like, oh no.
Hell
That is
no.
a little bull.
No, that is a child.
Yeah, I mean, there were obvious, when you're in high school, the hot, football player, but, some of them, height-wise, you're like, no, you probably couldn't pass as an adult.
I
Yeah,
wonder what,
yeah, for
I wonder
sure.
what Larry's pulling in at these stripper gigs. He has to be making probably
Decent
400,
money.
500 a night, probably. Guess it depends on how much he's given to the house.
Yeah. And is it pay to play at this club that he's working at?
Well, I mean, what is it? The shaky booby friend, she had a friend with her, the blonde lady, and she basically offers to we'll both do you.
Yeah. I will say that I just looked it up, and the actor that plays Larry was 28 at the time of filming this movie.
Oh well, of course.
Kind of has an old man face.
Those
we
wrinkles
clocked that
on
as we
the
were
forehead.
watching it.
Yeah, it was about 10 years senior. than his
28
character.
playing 17.
Yep. I mean, that was par for the course in the late 80s, but, that was Larry. But, I mean, hey, he did the job. We got to see those buns in that G-string that he
That
was
was
wearing.
a G-string, not a thong.
That is not a thong. That is a G-string.
You were not going to see a male stripper in a jockstrap in the 80s.
No.
but,
Especially in a straight lady stripper
but
environment.
in Perfect, I think they wore jockstrapped.
Yes, I think they were jockstraps.
See, this is how already obsessed I am with male strippers.
And
in the
Best Little
80s.
Whorehouse in Texas, but that's not strippers.
That's not.
But
That's a
That's
whole
still-
locker room scene.
That's
Yeah.
a great butt scene,
Oh my
though.
goodness gracious, that scene is too much.
Whenever we go to quads in Palm Springs, we always see that scene.
Shout out to Quads.
Shout out to quads. We've never been there.
They play it a lot. All right, where are we in this movie?
The wishes. So obviously Denise gets. So Denise is actually a good one to go back to. So Denise can't drive.
No,
She cannot drive. She's already failed, I'm assuming, her driving test once.
a couple of times, I think.
And so she asked Shoop, I need you to teach me driving lessons. And so he pairs this with one of the wishes that Chainsaw and Dave have is that we need a ride to work.
Yep,
And
he's chauffeuring them around.
yeah, and we learned that Denise really can't drive.
Oh, she's a terrible driver. And Shoop has her driving his Ford Falcon.
Maybe not a great idea
No.
to have this teenager drive your Ford Falcon around
No.
the greater Los Angeles area.
Yeah,
I would never trust one of my students with my cars.
no,
Ever.
no way. But he proves to be a decent driving instructor.
He does, yes. And
He is bringing out the best in all of these teenagers, too.
Yes.
which is honestly, that is the most important attribute of a good teacher is
Yeah.
bringing the best out of a student.
What he's lacking in curriculum, he's making up for it.
He's just giving them
life
alcohol.
lessons.
Also.
Oh yeah, so that's another like shift in the movie. So like Shoop kind of gives them all their wishes, and then one day while roller skating on the beach,
Ha.
Dave and Chainsaw are stopped by some beach cops, and they are visibly drunk and drinking
Yeah.
on the beach,
Drinking screwdrivers.
And Shoop skates by in his shorts and no shirt and takes the fall for them, which I would never do for any of my students.
Minors drinking alcohol? Hell no.
In a
He
public.
gets thrown in jail.
He does.
And when he's walking down that jail cell,
Skating down the jail
skating
cell.
down that
Roller
jail
skates.
cell,
come here, new fish.
yeah, he's getting the look up and down from all these guys.
Now, let's say you're arrested whilst wearing roller skates.
Is this Oz? Because yes.
But I'm saying if you're arrested, you're wearing roller skates, they throw you in the jail at the, jailhouse or whatever. They got to take the roller skates off.
You can use those as a weapon.
That's a weapon.
yeah.
You could beat the shit out of somebody with roller skates. You know? You can't even wear regular
Yes.
shoes and
Because isn't it in Boogie Nights? Doesn't Roller Girl
Yeah.
like kill that guy with the roller
yes,
skates?
of course. You beat
Mhm.
bash someone's head in. No, they got to take off the skates. He's going to walk in there barefoot or wearing prison issue like sandals with no shoelaces. Also a weapon.
So yeah, he gets thrown in jail, and he makes a call to Miss Bishop, who
Yeah.
is dating the VP.
Yeah, Gills.
Which the VP I can never tell good looking or gross. I
Now,
think he's kind of gross looking.
now as an older man, I would so do him.
He's got a Michael Scott thing going on with his hair and his
Yeah.
suits.
Doesn't quite do it for me.
It's all subjective.
It's pretty much the Jeremy Piven role from Old School.
Oh my god.
That he's doing.
Seriously. Maybe Jeremy Piven was like channeling this movie.
So Kirstie Alley is dating the VP, which is highly unethical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Probably be fired.
Definitely fired. But they go and basically bail Shoop out begrudgingly by Giles or Gillis, whatever his name is. And as he exits, he's gotten a little token from his time in prison.
Oh yeah, I got an ear piercing.
That's a high piercing on his ear. That must have hurt.
Yeah, it wasn't even his earlobe.
Yeah, and with a safety pin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think he was the top or the bottom when he got that?
It was was the safety pin sanitized? There's like
They
an
could have done it
ornament
with a
on
lighter.
it. Yeah, I guess. But Mr.
So
Shoop's
all
got
of this is
jailhouse
pretty much
cred.
building up until kind of to skip to the third act of the movie. All of these kids have to pass their test, their end of the year test, or Mr. Shoop gets fired.
Yes, and
Right?
and that's kind of where the shift really happens with Shoop is
Yeah.
that he actually now wants these kids to do good, and so they don't want to make deals anymore with him, and so he walks out.
Yeah.
and they get a sub for.
Oh, the sub. I forgot about the sub.
Shh.
Whose blood is that? Is that your blood? I love that woman. She looks like a bird.
Yes.
Her name is Lucy Lee Flippin.
Yes. The only thing that I recognize her from is from Flashdance at the very end when she's one of the adjudicators.
She's sitting behind that panel as Jennifer Beals does her dance number.
Yeah, and they bring her in, and she walks into the goriest classroom I've ever seen.
Chainsaw and Dave use their skills of movie magic to scare the shit out of this poor substitute.
This would have taken a lot of prep time.
Yeah.
Storyboards.
They would have had to get storyboards that have gotten there
This took a
very
lot of
early
work.
or
Makeup
maybe
tests.
overnight, because everybody's got like movie quality makeup. Chainsaw and Dave do a report about the person that they admire most in the world, and the person they admire most in the world is makeup artist and creature creator Rick Baker. And they admire him very, 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 very much. And I feel I could be wrong because I didn't find his name in the credits on IMDb, but I always read that Rick Baker actually helped with the makeup effects in
Probably.
this movie. Because
Also it was Carl Reiner too.
the special effects are
probably
really
could've
good. Yeah,
Gotten over Rick Baker for the day.
for sure. So I feel like he may have makeup artist and creature creator Rick Baker may have been a part of this movie for this very scene. But
Could you imagine doing this when you're in high school?
No.
Could you imagine trying to pull this off when you were 17 years old?
No,
Yeah.
but being like 5 years old watching this, I'm like, oh yeah, I could totally do this when I'm like a teenager.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Everything,
Like,
anything is possible.
this'll happen.
It's that whole outsmarting adults aspect.
Yes,
Yeah.
it very much is. And so they succeed in scaring off the substitute teacher,
I'm not ready for high school.
and they go and find Shoop.
Yeah.
They find Shoop on the beach.
On the beach because he quit. He was like, "Fuck you guys! You burnt my house down. You know, you threw me in jail. Like all that." He goes on this list of things that happened to him since he started teaching summer school. 95% of them are Chainsaw Dave's fault.
Yeah, right?
Everybody else is just like, "Sorry that those two idiots got you thrown in jail." But yeah, they find him on the beach. Beg him to come back to school because they've got to
in
pass
their
this fucking
makeup.
test.
They go to the beach in their makeup.
Full movie makeup. They look like crazy, scary monsters.
And from there, we get this montage of all them studying. And one of the things that we learn, or is pointed out, is that Denise has dyslexia.
Yeah. Denise has got some issues writing and reading comprehension and all of that, and so they've got to get her. She's not going to pass this test, man.
Probably not.
No, she's not. So they do the whole montage of them studying, and
Yeah.
you kind of get from Shoop's face that he knows the kids are not going to pass the test.
Yeah.
But he does the thing which teachers are supposed to do, is that you encourage and you motivate your students because, you know, they're really the ones doing the work. It's not you.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to make sure that they believe that they're going to do it. So then they go to the test day.
Yeah. In this high school's lecture hall.
Yeah, I didn't have a lecture hall. Did
We
you
didn't have a lecture hall.
No.
No.
Not at all.
We had our high school auditorium, and that was it.
You had an auditorium, like an actual
An
auditorium.
actual auditorium.
So-
Separate from the gym?
Separate from the
separate
gym.
from the cafeteria.
Separate from the cafeteria.
Oh, wow. A legitimate auditorium. I had a cafetorium.
Okay.
They would do
Yeah.
separate events there,
Auditorium.
too, if ever something came through the town.
We had
A town that wanted to...
we had a separate cafeteria, but that's just because the school was built in the 20s.
Okay.
And that was in the last remaining building from the old school. And then we had an old gym, but we had to put down separate flooring for the dances because we did not have a separate auditorium, and we could not scuff up the basketball court floor with our
Jocks bringing the money.
tennis shoes. Exactly. So, yeah, poor Anna Maria is there out of the kindness of her heart to proctor this test.
Honestly, she probably could have passed this test with
At
flying
this
colors.
point, yeah, I feel like she has a better comprehension of the language than anybody else in this class.
Yeah.
She's actually been going to class and like probably paying attention to what Mr. Shoop's saying, which I think Anna Maria and Shoop make a better fit than.
Right?
Because, well, that's it. Like, looking at her, you're like, oh, you're a woman.
She's a woman.
You are, well, yeah.
Yes.
Pam, I'm sorry.
No, yeah, Pam's a girl.
You're only 16.
But when they go to the beach and Anna Maria is ready to take that top off, she's wearing a G-string too at this beach. She is wearing an inappropriate
I think it's
bathing
the same
suit.
G-string as
that
Larry was wearing.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same color. Yeah. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so Anna Maria is proctoring the test with Mr. Shoop, Gills, and the school's what do they call the school's officers now?
Well,
they call them
CAs, I think.
Yeah.
But, like, that was not
No.
the CA. That looked like a legitimate police officer.
He did, but he's the same one from the beginning that was like inspecting their books and giving the pink slips out to everybody.
I mean, probably Los Angeles schools
Oh, they
probably
have
had
done
this, like public schools.
So
I
I
don't
know.
even think at the time they did.
So where I'm at, every high school is supposed to have a police officer.
Yeah.
And especially now, since
now,
you
I
can't
was gonna say,
suspend
yeah.
any kid, they're kind of needed. But yeah, that police officer is there. And this scene, honestly, is one of the most memorable scenes of this movie because of the song that is being
Yes.
played.
It's a really great song by one Elizabeth Daly, who you listeners may know from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. You may know her as
I had no idea that she did a song for this movie until, like, yesterday.
It's a great song. It's
It
a
really
fantastic
is.
song.
It really is. I'll find it shortly. But Elizabeth Daily, she was known by E.G. Daily at the time. She was a singer and actress. She didn't really have that big or booming of a music career, but she has a very distinctive voice. You may know her as Tommy Pickles,
Yes.
right, Scott? From
Big
from
voiceover
the
career.
Rugrats?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ready?
But she had a really good song in this movie. Oh, here it is. We can just talk over the song because it's good enough to have in the background.
It is. It's a fantastic song.
It's a good movie montage song.
It is.
Yeah, you can get a lot of work done to this song.
Yeah.
You know what?
could paint
In
a
your
house.
Yes.
You could
walk the dog with this song.
You could refurbish a kitchen. You know,
You're studying for that test.
build a clubhouse. You know, lots of things could be done to this song.
And you mentioned that it was offered to Blondie.
So originally, and E.G. Daily has done interviews of this. This song was originally recorded by Debbie Harry, and according to E.G. Daily, Debbie Harry's producers or management didn't want this song to compete with like one of her own songs, so they needed to redo the vocals. And so E.G. Daily says she got a call like, can you come to LA like this weekend type of deal and redo it. And this was like her biggest hit of her career. So good for E.G. Daily.
I'm going to tell you right now, this song is a fucking banger.
It is.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's
Hard to find. It's on YouTube,
Yeah.
but it's like you can't find this shit on iTunes.
Is it on
Sorry.
iTunes?
Wow.
No.
This is that late 80s sound. It's not so much freestyle, but it's definitely
Right.
a dance club
Right.
pop hit.
It's got a little Two of Hearts in there.
Yes.
Got a little
very
Stacey
much
Q
so.
going on.
Like, it's pre-Taylor Dane.
Yes.
And it was a good song. This song, I actually know this song not really from this movie, but from Kids Incorporated.
Yes.
Kids Incorporated did the song with Renee. I love me some Renee. And that's kind of how I remember this song.
Renee of Wild Orchid, right?
Wild Orchid. And
with Stacey Ferguson.
yes. And I believe the last thing, because she was Renee Sands as
Yeah.
a child, and then I believe her real name is Renee Sandstrom, and she did the voiceovers for some Disney stuff. I think with Camp Rock, she sang some stuff. She is not Fergie-licious, unfortunately, like Fergie is.
No, not quite.
No,
Not quite.
unfortunately. But this is so during this whole like montage, we kind of see little things happening. One thing we see happen is Larry. Maybe one of the reasons why he didn't do well on the test is because he's supposed to be wearing glasses. So he
Yeah.
sneaks them on.
And he's wearing very on-trend glasses.
Some cute tortoise frame glasses.
They were not on
Double
trend in
rimmed.
the 80s, but
Yeah.
they are now.
He'd fit right in Silver Lake right now.
Poor Rhonda having contractions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she is not only taking her test, she is timing her contractions
She's got a little digital watch.
as she's doing it. And you kind of all see them going through the test, and it finally ends, and Rhonda is escorted off to the hospital
To go have her baby.
to have her baby.
Poor Rhonda.
And I think it's kind of clever of the script that probably a lesser movie of the week script, they would all pass with flying colors. But I like that most of them fail.
yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of it's probably what would happen in real life. Most of them don't pass.
So like usually as a teacher, you kind of rely on this 80-20 rule. Like
Yeah.
there's like 20% of your kids that no matter what, those are the kids, good or bad, are going to do their own thing. But those 80% you can actually influence. And so Shoop unfortunately tells them when they're all kind of just hanging out at the beach that they didn't pass.
Yeah.
And for him, it means that he is not supposed to get tenure.
Which, I mean, as we've discussed.
That's not how it works.
Yeah. But what we ultimately find out is that the point is more so not that maybe you didn't pass this test, but the growth.
They all significantly improved with their score.
Yes, Betsy,
from where they were.
Yes, Betsy DeVos does not understand this at all. So after the kids find out, their parents come and to rally support behind Shoop, and they kind of tell the principal, Mr. Shoop has done all these great things for my kids.
Yeah.
And then he looks at the scores and he starts telling them, the growth that they've been having. And for most of them, some of it was that if you have just shown up to class, you probably would have passed.
Yeah.
Which high school, for the most part, if you show up and you turn in your homework, you will pass.
Yeah. Very much. And I tell that to students all the time. I go, it's not hard to get a C in any class.
C's get degrees.
C's get degrees. And so he starts listing off, and some do pass.
Yeah.
Ekian passes.
Yeah,
Pam passes. The jock.
Dave. Kevin the jock passes. Gets to be back in the team. Mm-hmm. And Dave passes with a 70.
And Chainsaw is very upset.
Oh, Chainsaw's so mad. 70 is what, a C minus? Right?
If you want to do that scale, yeah, why not?
If you want to do that scale. Do they not do that anymore?
What is a failing grade now?
So, but you have to ask yourself, what is a C? So, a lot of the times now, what a lot of schools are shifting towards is rubric grading.
Sure.
So, you're doing that off of maybe a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, when you convert that into percentages, it becomes subjective. But this is why growth versus mastery is a discussion, and something that is kind of being shifted more towards now is that kids got to be able to see that the work they put in, they can keep improving.
Yeah.
And so a couple of them pass. Pam passes with like an 82 or
82.
something.
She got to be.
But she is not the highest one.
Nope. What's his name? Who?
Is it Dwayne?
He claimed at the beginning of the summer school that the computer made an error. And we find out that the computer actually most likely did make an error. Because Jerome got a 96.
Jerome takes the bathroom pass at the beginning of the movie, and he doesn't come back with it until the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, he gives it to him as he walks into the test. Jerome Watkins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he gets a 90-something. I forgot.
Wait a minute. Does a lot of vagina... So wait a minute. She doesn't take the test.
She doesn't have to take the test.
She doesn't have to. So
she's there voluntarily.
She was just there for English.
Yeah, that's why she was proctoring the test.
Wow.
She was just sitting there like filing her nails the whole time.
I
However long they had to take the test. Yep. Kindness of her heart.
Huh.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, so the principal sees that Shoop actually made some change in these kids.
He taught them. So Shoop actually did become a good teacher. He was able to set goals with the kids and able to actually get them to achieve those goals.
Yeah.
So he honestly did become a very good teacher. So that is kind of the resolution of the story. However, that is not the denouement.
No. We've got one last scene on.
I mean, it has like its romantic subplot that I feel like is on the back burner in this whole movie, just because there's so much going on in the script with these kids.
Yeah,
that they do have to shoehorn this love story in.
But I mean, we finally get to see these really two hot people kiss.
They're very attractive, and
both,
this is
like peak 80s hotness.
Yeah.
Yes, and this actually is not the first time they have been paired together. The year prior.
So when you kept saying this, go on.
Yeah. So while I was watching this movie, recently on Amazon, what was suggested was this movie called Prince of Bel-Air.
And when you kept saying Prince of Bel-Air, I thought that you were just saying Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I'm just like, I don't remember Mark Harmon on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Why don't I remember this?
No, it's this made-for-TV romantic comedy that came out in 1986, and Mark Harmon plays a pool man who is kind of sleeping with his clients, and he kind of falls in love with a new client played by Kirstie Alley. And they're actually, besides Kirstie Alley in that movie, we get other summer school cast members. We get
Kevin the Jock.
Yeah, Kevin the Jock and Chainsaw, Dean Cameron.
So, I wonder if just as they were making it, I wonder if they shared producers, or they're just like, well, this worked with all of this cast, so we'll just bring back Mark and Kirstie
Yeah.
for this movie.
They have good chemistry. They have really good chemistry. Like all the reviews you read about this movie, they talk about the chemistry.
Maybe they first got Mark, and then he insisted on Kirstie coming in to read because he had just done a movie with her.
Possibly,
You know what?
Yeah.
Let's think about it. It's Kirstie, like thirsty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if she's one of those actresses. She's just a really good partner actress. Like she just knows how to connect with people and go with them.
That was her whole gig in Cheers. That's why that was such a success.
And also, you were mentioning on our Drop Dead Gorgeous episode that her and Mindy Sterling are both really funny together too.
Yes.
They play off each other really well.
Yes, and Mindy Sterling is a good improv actor, and their scenes together are really, really, really good. They shine.
I remember reading something about Rhea Perlman saying how good Kirstie Alley really is. Like, you don't think she's going to be, but, like, she's just there with you.
Yeah.
She will go, and she can make anything funny.
Yeah. I mean, she's good. Love her.
She wore some great outfits that I would love to wear to the classroom.
So that tucked-in belt. She had
a very beautiful high-waisted denim pant with a denim shirt.
It was a skirt.
It was a denim skirt
yeah.
and a denim shirt with shoulder pads.
It was a knee-length denim skirt, so it was cute. It wasn't like
it's like an A skirt, isn't it?
Yeah. And it wasn't like what you think of like a denim skirt that's just like to the floor. It was like knee length. It was nice and like bodycon, and yeah, that top with shoulder pads.
Everything she wore had shoulder pads.
Yeah.
What does she wear when she comes over to Mark's house?
Isn't it blue? She has. All I know, she has a side pony.
Yeah, she has a side pony in that. Oh, that's when she's wearing. It's like a knit sweater. It's like a pink knit sweater.
I do love that look
pullover
that she gives him when she sees what's going on, though.
Of course.
When she sees Pam in that house.
When she sees Pam in that house.
All right.
Yep.
I got to get the fuck out of here.
Well, like that, like that whole... It was weird that this movie, and when I really think back at it now, there was like no problem talking about teacher-student relationships.
No. Yeah.
And now that's like...
Like the whole movie would have to be built around that now.
Yeah. Well, I think Mary Kay Letourneau and Vili Fulau really just blew the lid off that.
Yep.
They're still together.
No,
they just
broke up.
They just broke up.
Like
in 2019.
If those two can't make it,
what hope do any of us have?
What hope did any of us have?
Yeah. Like I do. Well, I'm not sure if they. Yeah, it was something that apparently was. I guess kind of common now, but really common back then, with people just like they felt was appropriate to, and it's not. I remember because when I was going to get my teaching credential, at the college, we got lectured because I think 2 teachers in the Valley had just gotten like busted.
Oh my god!
For like, yeah.
Are we talking college or?
No, high school.
High school.
So like I was taking my becoming teacher classes in college and to high school teachers.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Well, it was in this movie and it was kind of glossed over, but Mr. Shoop I think came out all right. He came out the other end.
Everything he wants at the end.
Yeah. And Pam does acknowledge that he was a phase. And she has moved on.
Yes, she had abandonment issues. She really did.
She did. She has no parents to speak of. She's living with her older brother, who's married and has his own children.
She kind of has some daddy issues going on.
And, yeah. And when the older brother's wife gets knocked up again, she loses her spot on the couch. It's like she needs a stable environment.
Yes.
And she does not have this.
Yes.
She's not going to get it from Mr. Shoop.
No.
But maybe Pam works. Things work out for her in the end, but she does acknowledge that he was a phase, and she does understand that she's moved past him. She's no longer pining for him, which is good for all of us in the end. So
to kind of wrap this up, what about this movie made us gay?
Male strippers.
Male strippers.
Yeah.
Mark Harmon, definitely.
Mark Harmon's Baby Blues.
Like I just said,
his shorty shorts.
The good-looking friend of your dad's.
That E.G. Daily song, like as a little gay boy, you could dance around that at your house.
It. Yeah, love that song. Love her as Dottie in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Just love her voice. But yeah, I mean, just
it was a fun movie. Like as a kid,
yeah,
like you watched
so fun.
It was fun. This is what you kind of maybe thought high school would one day be,
Yep.
and it's nothing like
it was
this.
not at all. But yeah, I just loved shorty shorts and a Hawaiian shirt. There was a lot of what I latched onto is these men who have this like kind of a fun-loving and maybe kind of stunted personality where they just need to grow up a little bit. They don't have bad intentions, but maybe they just need to just to grow up a bit. And I think Mr. Shoop and Chainsaw and Dave and like this movie's populated with men who need to get their shit together. But in the end of the movie, they do. So I don't know. I really latched onto those guys, and what's his name's G-string, Larry.
Yeah,
Larry made me gay.
Always the scene that probably you two would have paused.
Well, now that I know
your
it's like a
VHS player.
fast clip on like YouTube, I don't need to watch the movie anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Just find it. But I mean, yeah, and then just thinking about like, is that a thing? Like,
Yeah.
can I look forward to this? Like, one day we'll be able to go to like strip club. I don't know. That's weird. Who knows?
Are there still like legitimate strip clubs?
You'd have to go up to Portland for the
Portland.
for the guy ones.
Okay, so there is a movie on Amazon Prime. It's a documentary.
Is it all male?
nude.
Yeah, is it that the one?
Yep.
Where it's like the male, like the
Yep.
South or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's Swingin' Richards down in Atlanta. Oh, well, we got to wrap this up so we can see some male strippers ourselves.
This is true.
It's Sunday night.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, Jacob.
Oh, you're very, very
you
welcome.
were great.
Yeah,
I felt
that
like
was really fun.
this movie I wasn't as familiar with, so I kind of had to take a back seat for both of you two to talk about it. But it was a fun time, though.
It is a gem.
If
you haven't
it's a
watched
really
Summer
fun
School,
movie.
watch it. It's on Stars.
It's
on
very
demand.
comforting. It's from your childhood.
It is.
It goes down real easy.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
a gem from 1987. We've been doing a lot of movies from 1987.
That was a great year because you guys have been. You two have done a lot of movies from '87.
And here's
Any
another
more
great
movies
one.
from '87 that you're planning?
I don't know if we have any in the pipe, but
We'll be doing more.
we'll probably do a couple more. But yeah, thanks for coming on. This was great. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for listening. Boys and girls, thank you for listening out there. Find us on social media. We're on Instagram and Facebook at Movies That Made Us Gay. We're also on Twitter at MTMUGPod. You can also email us at moviesthatmadeusgay@gmail.com. Instagram's the most smartest
Send
way
us
to
a
find
DM.
us. Send
Comment.
us a DM. Write us a comment.
Like everything.
Any suggestions?
And don't forget to give us
5
stars,
stars.
please.
Go on iTunes, rate us, review us. Only review us if it's a good review. But write something. It's free, and it helps us in the long run. Thanks for listening, everybody. See you next week.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.